Ladies and gentlemen of the Action Army, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of Answers for Athletes. If you've noticed that my voice sounds a little bit different today, it is because somehow, some way, I let myself get sick. However, the show must go on, and I must bring you videos every single day until the day that I die. God forbid. Hopefully that's a long time from now. However, we got a question from Crypto4887 who says, Day 5, he's very persistent, Day 5 of asking what I should do after I've finished a triphasic training program. Do I redo it? Do I just do the concentric? What do I do? I have a very good answer for you. Before I give you that answer, make sure that you comment JUMP, J-U-M-P, down below in the comment section for a free bodyweight vertical jump training program. So here we go. What do you do after you finish a triphasic training program? First off, for those of you who don't understand what triphasic training means, let me just explain it very quickly. Triphasic, tri meaning three, phasic meaning phases. There are 3 phases to any triphasic training program. The first phase being the eccentric phase, the second phase being the isometric phase, the third phase being the concentric phase. So Dietz, who is the creator of triphasic training and the author of the book Triphasic Training, says that in the eccentric phase, let's use a squat for an example because that's a very easy example. In the eccentric phase, when doing a squat, you're going to go down, focusing very slowly on the eccentric of a 5 to 6 second eccentric on the way down, and then you explode up. In the isometric phase, you go down as fast as you can. You decelerate the bar as fast as you can, and then you hold that for 4 to 5 seconds. That is the isometric portion. And then you explode up as fast as you possibly can. In the concentric phase, you go down and up as fast as you can. The concentric phase is just, normal exercises going very quickly down and up, trying to maximize the efficiency of the stretch shortening cycle. Now, Dietz, in his book, he explains that any exercise, no matter what, no matter whether you focus on triphasic training or not, any exercise is triphasic in nature. Think about a back squat. Think about a concentric back squat where you're going down and up as fast as you can. A normal back squat. He says that is triphasic in nature by itself, because every exercise that you do, there's going to be an eccentric. You have to go down in a squat. You got to go down. That's your muscles lengthening. There's always an eccentric, whether it's fast or slow. There's always an isometric, whether you hold it or not. You have to reverse that bar. And then there's always a concentric. You always got to come back up, unless you fail and you drop the bar on yourself. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you. However, he explains that every exercise is triphasic in nature. The only difference between triphasic training is there's now a focus on a slow eccentric, a focus on holding the isometric, and then a focus on down and up as fast as you can in the concentric phase. So your question is, what do I do after I'm done with a triphasic training program? So I know I keep referencing the book because that's where all this comes from. I didn't make this up. Dietz, in his book, explains that each phase should be between 3 to 6 weeks. So you should spend 3 to 6 weeks in the eccentric, 3 to 6 weeks in the isometric, and then 3 to 6 weeks in the concentric phase. And then he says that you should repeat. I personally I do have triphasic training in my Beyond the Rim 2 program, in my Upper Body Athlete 2 program, and in my Beyond the Rim 3 program. I use triphasic training. I only go through it once. I do not repeat like he repeats. I don't think it is necessary to repeat like he repeats. However, I will say that Dietz is much smarter than me. He knows a lot more than me. He's been training for a lot more than me. He's trained higher caliber athletes than me, Olympic athletes, professional athletes, D1 athletes. Dietz knows what the fuck he's doing. So, with that said, I do not continue doing triphasic training over and over and over because I don't think that is necessary. There's studies out there that say that there's no benefit of doing a slow eccentric on a back squat versus going down and up on a back squat for your vertical jump. There's no benefit from going down slow. I think there's benefits in other areas of athleticism for strength, for injury prevention, et cetera, et cetera. However, I just want you before we go on, I want to let you know that I do not do more than one phase of each, the eccentric and the isometric phase. After I'm done with that, I just continue with concentric on and on and on. And I might throw in here and there some eccentrics, some isometrics, but I do not do full phases anymore. What he says that you should do, this is what I was getting towards. What Cal Dietz says that you should do is you should do 3 to 6 weeks of your eccentric, 3 to 6 weeks of your isometric, 3 to 6 weeks of your concentric, and then you repeat. And what he says you should actually do is the first time that you go through it, you only do one exercise focused on the eccentric, one exercise focused on the isometric, and then everything in the concentric phase is concentric. However, this is what I mean. Let's say you're in your eccentric phase and you have a workout. In that workout, let's say you do 6 exercises. Only one of those exercises, he wants you to focus on a 5 to 6 second eccentric. So let's say you do, your plyometrics, then we'll say you do back squat, then we'll say you do, RDLs, then you do some step ups, et cetera, et cetera. He says that only back squats should be eccentric, and you could pick your exercise, but I'm going to use back squat. Only back squats are going to be a 5 to 6 second eccentric, and then the rest of the exercises, you're going to do normal concentrics. In the isometric phase, only one exercise is going to be focused on isometric. So we'll use back squat again. Once you get to your 3 to 6 weeks of your isometrics, you got your back squat going down as fast as you can, hold 4 to 5 seconds, and then explode up as fast as you can. And then in your concentric phase, it's all as fast as you can. Okay. Then what he says you should do is repeat that program. And the next time you go through it, now you add another exercise with an eccentric focus. So now in your eccentric phase, you do squats with an eccentric focus again. And now we'll say you add Nordic curls, going down very slow because Nordics are eccentric in nature. So now you have your squats and your Nordics. So 2 exercises are now with an eccentric focus. And then in the isometric phase, you got 2 exercises with an isometric focus. And then concentric phase, it's all concentric. And then you repeat it again, and you do 3 exercises with an eccentric phase. And then 3 with an isometric, and on and on and on until every single exercise is with an eccentric focus, every single exercise with an isometric focus, and then every single exercise with a concentric focus. So that is what Cal Dietz says that you should do. So to answer your question, you basically can choose one of 2 paths now. There's 3 paths. I'll tell you the 3 pathways. Pathway number 1 is to follow Cal Dietz and his advice and just repeat the phases, repeat triphasic training over and over and over, and just add an exercise each time with an eccentric focus and then an isometric focus, et cetera, until your whole workout is eccentric and your whole workout is isometric and your whole workout is concentric. That's pathway number 1. Pathway number 2 would be to never touch it again. After you do your triphasic training and you go through your 3 to 6 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks, after that, never touch it again, never do triphasic training again. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I really don't. I don't think that triphasic training is going to get you way more gains than not doing triphasic training. And I don't think that not doing triphasic training is going to get way more gains than doing it. I think that both ways are good ways to train. So that's number 2. Way number 1 is to fully dive in headfirst and repeat it over and over and over. Pathway number 2 is to do it once and then never touch it again. Pathway number 3 is really what I tend to do. And what I do is I will have certain workouts. So let me give you a good example. So let's say you do a strength phase, a power phase, and then a speed phase or a peaking phase or a flight phase. When you're in that peaking phase, in your flight phase, you don't want to lose all the strength that you've built. But in order to maintain your strength, you really only need to hit one heavy strength workout every 4 to 5 workouts, every so often. and you can maintain your strength like that. I think the same thing goes for triphasic training. You only need to hit an eccentric focused workout or an isometric focused workout every so often, and you can maintain what you have. Now, it might go down a little bit, but I don't think that's the biggest deal. So what you need to do is you need to just pick one of these pathways. What are you going to do? Are you going to fully dive into triphasic training? Are you going to fully just do it once and then just do normal training with a concentric focus the rest of the way for the rest of your life? Or are you going to do a triphasic training and then come back and touch on it here and there? It's up to you. And this is what I will say. As long as you are progressive overloading in some capacity, you will see gains on your vertical jump. You have to progressive overload in some way. That's it for this video. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel and leave your question down below if you want me to answer your question in a video just like this. I will see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.